Welcome back to the podcast. Derek and I are going to try to break down 8 tips for you. Hopefully these are actionable tips if you want less stress, less body fat. Maybe you're already at a happy place, so maybe this gives you a little less stress. If you are trying to lose body fat, hopefully this helps. Number 1, daily walk. How do you get yours in?
Man, I haven't done it in a couple of days, man, because we've been traveling. But I have done it. I've just been doing it in
the
gym.
airport.
In the airport, yeah, for sure. But I usually, man, whenever it's a nice day outside, man, I always go to the beach, man. I always try to combine that with getting my nature and getting my my soul food. I like to call it, like that's the acronym for my sunlight. So I like to get like sunlight, go out on the beach, get my feet, bare feet in that sand, just kind of like really tune back into nature a little bit, man. What about you?
That's amazing. If you can get a walk in the sand, man, that's one of the best things you could do.
Yeah.
Mine's just taking Lucky for his walk in the morning.
Yeah, you consistent with that too, man.
Probably 4 years now, every morning, taking Lucky for a good walk. I actually walk around here, down by the water. It's nice. Usually beat the sun up, so I'm walking when the sun comes up. I've learned to love that. I wouldn't want to give up my morning walk for anything, but I realize when it comes to how to lose body fat, well, some kind of daily walk seems to be a good idea. Making it a routine. I would definitely say walking in the sunlight and the sand would be the best.
True.
I think it could be anything to keep.
Yeah, I think getting outside is key too. A lot of people walk on a treadmill inside, indoors, but I think there's something about being out in nature and being exposed to the elements and kind of looking at things from a distance, man. Because we're talking about 8 actions to be lean and stress-free at the same time. So I think that's one thing that really helps you to kind of like with your hormone levels, with your mindset, with your overall beingness. So I feel like being outside really it's a stark difference for me to being inside in the gym and to being outside. So that's like my little tip on that.
I think it's underrated. Most of my best ideas happen on those morning walks. If I need to think, all right, let me go on my morning walk, I'll come up with ideas.
Yeah, you do too, man. Ben brings back just some genius ideas from his morning walks. Or he's texting us, man, like, hey, listen, this is what I came up with. I'm like, man, how's he do that?
Grateful for these guys keeping up with me in the group chat. But
seriously,
number 2 is fasting. And the idea with these 8 points is not that we think everyone has to do all 8, but maybe you get a gem somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get things. My passion is just getting things to what's natural. So like you said, walking in nature, that's natural. I also think it would be natural to have some degree of fasting because you would have to get up in the morning. You'd have to go obtain the food. You wouldn't just wake up with some massive meal waiting for you. So
it's true.
You actually know quite a bit about fasting. I've never fasted a day in my life, but I like to work in the morning, so I tend to like to skip breakfast, and I use that strong coffee. So I know it's not technical fasting, but it's just 15 grams of collagen protein allows me to get my day started. So if you think about having just that 100 or so calories and then coming into the gym and training all morning and not having my first real meal until later, I think there's some corollaries there. So how do you fast?
But how long, before we go, how long have you been doing that? How do you feel? Because a lot of people are like, man, I need something in the morning before I work out. A lot of kids actually had that mindset when I'm training them. So you being as lean, as active, and athletic as you are doing it, how long have you been doing it? And how do you feel working out fasted?
Well, with that, for me, that's just a little something. Yeah. My opinion is more that what I'm eating later in the day is then going to give my body time to digest and break down that food and have it ready as energy the next day. So just understanding how food works, and I eat a bunch of fruit every night, and understanding how carbs work and how they store in your muscles, that's going to be ready for me to use the next day. I don't have to eat it right before. So I feel better not eating a lot before I train. But how do you fast?
Man, I got a completely like different take on like food. Like a lot of times, like I just feel like we've been so programmed to think food is always, we gotta like consume. And I feel like a lot of it is like, I've been programmed. Like I was growing up programmed. I need breakfast, I need lunch, I need dinner, I need these snacks. Especially, I kind of grew up in that bodybuilding culture where like every 3 hours you need to eat. And I just found out, man, my body didn't feel so good always trying to stuff it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So once I kind of got on that like fasting journey, I just felt better. I was able to think clearer. Like my life just improved a lot of ways. So I don't necessarily look at it as just like I'm fasting. It's just kind of like a lifestyle for me at this point where I can go 24, almost 48 hours without like consuming food. But I just feel like going out in nature, doing deep breathing, like getting around good energy and like good people. Because everything is energy to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything is energy. Food is a form of energy. And so, and not to get too like metaphysical or like esoteric, but I just feel like everything is energy. You know what I'm saying? We've been programmed, or I've been programmed, I should say, to think the only source of energy is food, is physical food. So I just feel like when I go out in nature, when I'm going around positive people, when I'm getting exercise, when I'm doing deep breathing, I just feel like, man, I feel good right now. So if I feel good, why do I need to like consume physical food just because I've been programmed to believe? And so I can go, but not to say I do eat though. And I eat like, and like you said, like sometimes some nights I might just have a king's ransom, king's meal, like, you know what I'm saying? But that might hold me over for a day or two, you know?
Wow.
So yeah, that's my esoteric take on it, man. Don't kill me on YouTube.
No, I mean,
I know I'm gonna get smashed.
it seems like a lot of data is coming about on that and how the body can heal itself that way. And to me, it just seems natural that we wouldn't always have food waiting for us. That being said, the frequent meals does seem to work well for bodybuilders when you're trying to make your body a larger size than it naturally would be.
Now that's true. Let me speak to that too before I do get crushed on me. If I was,
I don't think you're going to get crushed. You're 43 and you're ripped to shreds.
If I was trying to get big, if I was a football player, if I wanted to get massive size, I would be on that every 3 hours, protein shakes and all that type of stuff. Yeah, but that's not the lane I'm in.
Yeah. Number 3 for us is we do sled daily or near daily. And to me, that's the biggest cheat code of the whole thing.
That's a huge one.
Because I do believe it gives you the most hormone output. And I also think it's the thing most likely to make you disciplined with the rest of your life and the rest of your diet. So if I hit the sled, the last thing I want to do is go mess with that work I put in. So you're taking, it very likely is the most hormone output of any exercise there is, meaning the most potent fat burner there is the sled training. So when you do the most potent and productive thing, you don't want to mess it up. So,
man, that's huge, man. I think that, what'd you say, that it's the most?
It's the most potent fat burner, most hormone output.
Burner. I think that's so accurate, man. I never thought about it just like that. But man, I'm telling you, the sled, you get the resistance training, you get the cardio training,
you recover within a few hours. Your body's not even aware that you broke it down, meaning a few hours later, you're already more adapted than you were a few hours before.
Yeah. And you remember we used to do those fucked up Friday challenges, man.
And now we basically do effed up every day because, so the sled is cool. My parents come in and do the sled. It's their favorite exercise. It's what's made them love training. But Derek and I are training partners. So we always start out slow, but by the last round every day, I'm woozy and I'm going, God dang it.
That's true. We just did 4 trips, man. Just woke up and just knocked it out. And you can just,
Drew, if you want to pull up some clips just showing different versions of sleds.
Yeah, but it's just like you said, you always adapting to that. And I feel like it's the most important fat burner there is an accurate statement. So you can pretty much get everything, your hormones, just with those sleds. You can balance your hormones just with sleds alone, I believe. Yeah,
and also the way you want to look, it's not just about making yourself limp and lean. So the sled is giving you that potency and you're actually getting muscle tone and you're making yourself more youthful. So you could do certain endurance training that could actually make your body age more in the effort to get lean. If you just go run 100 miles, if you look at the body of a 100-meter sprinter versus a marathon runner, and biologically they look different ages.
So true.
So the sled allows you to get that 100-meter sprinter type physique, but without the chance of pulling your hamstring. And you can do it every day.
And like I think you told me like a lot of your hormones are in your legs, man. So by pushing that sled and you strengthen and you build from the ground up, you know. And I found out before I started doing sleds, man, like my knees were terrible, my legs were hurting, and now
it's an underrated part as well. Less pain,
Yeah.
more activity.
Yeah. And so I know that's on the list too, but
This is
but
tough because we could have gone a whole podcast just on the walk and just on the sled.
That's true.
Let's make number 4 pretty quick. And Drew, if you can pull up our last chin-up video. For me, having a body weight goal. So if I can't do 12 perfect full chin-ups, I'm not feeling that. That's an ethical point on my own body, that if I maintain the rest of my life able to do 12 perfect chin-ups, it's going to be very hard for me to be out of shape. Now, if someone couldn't do a chin-up at all, I would say one of the greatest victories you could have would just be building to where you could do a chin-up. So having any kind of body weight goal, I'd be a huge fan of. And Drew will show on screen how I believe that rather than stressing yourself out or risking injury or taking a loss on trying to do a chin-up if you can't do a chin-up, go to the cable machine and just do one arm at a time. So you get a full stretch, bring it all the way down, drive up your strength one arm at a time, and before you know it, you can do a chin-up. Now, I see you every week in our program doing chin-ups very easily, doing body weight stuff very easily. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the 8 actions to be lean and stress-free, I feel like being able to lift your own body weight and move your own body weight is a key factor in this particular topic, man. And I feel like it's hard to find somebody not pretty lean and lean that can come here and do 10 to 12 pull-ups, you know? So I feel like that's a factor. Being able to get good, moving your own body weight is key, even push-ups, sprints, like different body weight activities, I feel like are really important to have a lean physique. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like the ATG program itself is kind of based around like make sure you're
pretty good with your own body weight.
Yeah, man. Make sure you master your body first.
Yeah.
And then add on.
And then you can take a win on that. So it makes training fun.
Yeah.
Rather than only having weight goals where you could actually perhaps have a sloppy physique, a physique that's not designed to survive out in the wild. If you couldn't climb up and couldn't pull your own body weight and run fast and prevent injury. Yeah. So going right from that, number 5, when I train, every single ingredient, not a few ingredients, not my accessory, every single ingredient is calculated to how does this bulletproof my body? Can you bulletproof a body? Heck no, you can't bulletproof a body. But if every ingredient in my program is calculated to make my body more bulletproof, you've known me so long now. Never see me have a bad day. Never see me with a niggling pain or injury. Never not able to perform. Never not able to. So now as my kid grows up and things of that nature, I'll be so much more active without even trying because my body's bulletproof. So for me, the most out of shape I ever got was relative to being hurt.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
You're 43, you play with your kids. That has to help keep you shredded.
Yeah. And everything, it's a mouthful what you just said, man. I've never seen Ben come in here like, man, I got an ankle today. Man, I got a back. Man, I got a knee. Like, you come in here.
Never have to miss an exercise.
Let's hit these sleds. Then I'm like, all right, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's ready. His body is ready to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if your body's always ready, you're doing your walks, you're consistent. And I think consistency should be on the list too, man. Ben is able to stay consistent with this training, you know? So yeah, man, as far
But
as...
same to you, you're 43. We go out and play basketball.
Yeah.
How much calories do you think you're burning the way you play basketball because you're playing at a high level for 43? But if you had the niggling injuries and if you couldn't move fast and things, so I think that the more bulletproof your body is, by nature, you get more shredded.
Yeah, that's true. And I've seen, like, I'm 43, obviously, and then I've seen a lot of my friends kind of fall by the wayside. Injury here, injury there, knee surgery here, Achilles
Get
here.
out of shape.
And then when I see them, they stomachs out of shape. Like
also,
they
when you try to get
playing.
back into shape,
yeah.
So it's a vicious cycle. Injury, you get out of shape, so now you've lost momentum. You've taken a loss. Now you try to get back into shape. Now it's even harder. Now you run into more injuries. So how do you get out of that cycle?
So being pain free is key. I think what you
Drew
said,
could
pain
pull
free
up
is performance.
the video on you can fix weak links. That would be an example. So in my younger years, I never took the time, quote unquote time. It was never valuable enough to train all these areas that bulletproof me because I wanted to get shredded. Only now I'm way more shredded because I take the time to be bulletproof. Now, and you can keep playing that video so people can see some examples. Number 6, let's make this the world's fastest diet convo in a world of long-winded diet explanations. Ready? So What was your conclusion? I mean, you have one sentence to tell someone how to get ripped with diet.
Wow.
One
One
sentence.
sentence. I would say, if man made it, don't eat it.
Beautiful. I would say, I dare you to challenge Mother Nature and not be shredded. Can't one ingredient foods
Yeah,
that
wow.
Mother Nature made, and that when you study it, you see that it's been consumed since the beginning of known time. Not something that's just started being harvested recently.
Yeah.
And my only tip on that, because I like having actionable tips, because we do have to acknowledge that society is rigged against us. My gosh, I don't watch TV. I don't have a TV. But when I'm out to eat or something, it fascinates me that the TV is one ad for junk food after another.
Oh my goodness. It's
Society
almost sad,
is designed
man.
to
Yeah.
give us unhealthy amounts of body fat. It's straight up designed. We believe in energy, not opinions. And if you measure the mathematical energy society around is putting on us to have extra body fat, be way beyond what would be a natural healthy level, it is being crushed on us. So my tip is I finish the night and I have fruit for dessert. Doesn't mean that's the best time to have fruit. It doesn't mean that there's something magical about having fruit at night. But I've been now over 400 days in a row without a cheat meal, without having anything that Mother Nature didn't make. So that's my tip that helps me. I don't worry about the cravings during the day. I don't worry about the Pringles commercial because I'm like, that looks disgusting compared to the fruit I'm about to have tonight. And I eat it seasonal so you don't get a blackberry that tastes nasty.
Shout out, folks.
Shout out, Forrest.
Yeah,
Probably
man.
shouldn't have inside jokes on a podcast.
Nah, but
Apologies to the
listen, man.
listeners.
I think you said a lot there, and watching television and being programmed. I'm literally at the airport. I'm just literally at the airport, and like you said, man, you walk past these people, and it's so many just TVs everywhere blasting
Junk food after junk food after junk food after junk food.
And if you're unaware, you just getting
Do you
programmed
realize
with
why
that.
they have so much money to market? Because it's garbage food that doesn't cost anything to make. That's why they have millions of dollars to market. So it's rigged against you. Where the heck is the fruit commercial? There's no margins to be made
what's
by
the
the time
Sun
you spend
commercial?
millions. All right. Derek believes he gets nutrients from the sun, which is factually true, starting with things like vitamin D. But yeah, I haven't seen many commercials for
Hey, shout out to Sun Soul Food, man.
it's free.
Yeah, man.
It is unfortunate that the coincidences are too strong that the more unnecessarily high profit there is to be made on something, the more it seems to be pushed in on us. So we'll probably have to remove any of these parts of the podcast. We apologize. We will get back in line in a single file line. And we got 2 more topics to cover.
That's facts, man. Yeah, we got to delete
Sleep.
that.
And I'm really curious to hear what Derek says on sleep.
Woo!
I've gone years of my life on low sleep. I was still fine, but I notice a big difference in my body when I'm getting more sleep. So I think this is a relative thing, meaning if you're thriving on 5 hours of sleep, that's amazing. But at 8 hours, you might solve world hunger or something. So for me, I thought I was doing fine on that 5 hours grinding.
Yeah.
But at 8 hours, my creative ideas are higher. My body's in even better shape, leaner for sure, less extra body fat. And my trick is simple. I went on the no entertainment thing, and that means there's nothing keeping me up at night. And I turn my phone off, electronics off. But if you can't do entertainment, you wind up getting a ton of sleep. Because most of us, of course there's exceptions, but the majority of people listening to this are spending time at night watching entertainment that reduces the amount of sleep they get. Particularly once the sun goes down, your body is like,
Start to
hey,
produce melatonin.
it's time to start sleeping. So I find that the earlier that sleep, so I start getting tired when the sun goes down, and I wake up naturally when the sun starts coming up, and I just try to set 8.5 hours from the time I have to shut off my phone, computer from working or whatever. And I leave an alarm in the morning, but I almost never use it.
Wow.
So I leave 8.5 hours to sleep. Doesn't mean I sleep all of it, but that's 8.5. Imagine if you had 8.5 hours every night. Where what if in the world electronics was somehow run by a system and electronics all shut off for 8.5, and you couldn't. There was no electricity for 8.5 hours. People would get more sleep. So that being said, okay, last night I got in on a flight. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. Back up at 6, taking Lucky for our morning walk. So when I'm getting that good sleep in general, something like that can happen, and it doesn't mess me up as bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So things will happen, but to me, if your overall sleep has that consistency, you're getting more overall sleep. I've just thrived with that.
How long have you been consistent with it?
Well, we're going on at least since the start of last year when I cut out entertainment.
Wow.
You don't have a choice. When you cut out entertainment, you get sleep. There's nothing to do.
Yeah, it seems like your mind is so productive throughout the day. How do you turn it off? Like, I'm always curious about, like, does Ben turn his mind off, and how does he sleep? Because it seems like you are.
I think it's shutting the electronics off. You can't have an idea and go, let me go note this down. Sorry, it's just.
So you discipline. It's the discipline mixed into that, like, because I'm sure your mind continues to run for
probably
15, 30 minutes after you shut the computers off.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why I like to leave 8.5 hours of no electronics time.
Okay.
What do you do?
So, man, I could be better sleeping, honestly. My mind runs, and I've kind of learned this from you recently, because I know I usually text you around 11:30 at night, and I'm like, it shows up green. I'm like, yeah, Ben has shut his phone off. So I'm like, I've actually started shutting my phone off around 10:30, and it has been helping my sleep. But I'm like, have so much going on in my life. My mind is kind of always like running. So that's one thing I can do better at, is being more efficient with my sleep protocol. So I'm gonna work on it, man. I'm gonna work on it. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And with all these points, if
I think
someone
8 hours
puts together even any of these or starts working on them, and some may take more time. Maybe you fail 7 out of 10 times to shut your phone off. But these things gradually build up habits. I don't think any of these for me just happen instantly.
Yeah.
So just keep working on it.
Consistency and just awareness.
Yeah.
And like right now, we just giving it this awareness. Like, I've learned from you, I got more of awareness. Oh, this is how Ben does it. And like, as you listen to us, you just get an awareness of, man, how to eat, how to train, what sled does for you. So it's just like, once you're conscious about how these things operate, then you can consciously do these things. And then once you consciously do these things, you'll be unconsciously competent. And you just, like, Ben, you seem like you're just unconsciously competent. It's just part of your lifestyle now, and that's kind of what the goal for everybody is, so.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to take real effort based on how society is, because we're going to have to be different. We can't just, if you go with the current, you're not going to be doing these 8 things. Yeah. And number 8 is a simple one, just being more active. And that's also a conscious thing. For me, that means we're workaholics, but we take one day a week to go play basketball. And that's something that I look forward to, and I want to be in shape for it. So I think having something, even if it was waking up one morning a week and going for a run, let's say, on the weekend, I think if there's something that keeps you in that sport mindset, for whatever that is for you, I think that could give you a reason to, I don't want to be out of shape for blah. Maybe that could even be, as my kid grows up, that's going to be the most fun of my life, is Sunday mornings going and playing basketball with my kid. And I'll want to be in shape for that. So I think keeping that connection to the sport active.
Yeah.
We don't have much time left on the podcast. So for these 8 things.
But I love being active, man. And like, I'll just say something real quick, man, that just not stopping. Like, if you play basketball, I'm 43. I'm gonna continue to play basketball. I'm gonna continue to get that with kids. If you like to do, I think being pain-free is key. But just being consistent, man, not stopping. Not be like, I'm gonna get to it next year. Even if it's 15, 20, 30 minutes. If you enjoy something and being active, I think our bodies want to be active. So
you do it at some level.
Yeah, some level.
And that's why the sled we're so passionate about, because I've never seen anything that rehabilitates people's ability to play sports like the sled, because you're directly strengthening these exact positions you need to play sports without pain.
Man, so true.
That's why we're crazy passionate about the sled. We haven't seen people we can't rehabilitate to play their sport with the sled at some level, regardless of age. So with these 8, My challenge for you is to pick your weakest link of these and try to make something actionable. I'm not a fan of theories. I'm a fan of actions, and maybe yours will differ a little bit from what we said, but these are some ideas that you could pick your weakest link. So what do you think your weakest link is on this list?
I think sleep was mine, man. If I feel like if I master sleep, I'll pick up on all these other 7, you know? So what about you?
I think that the body weight goal, meaning for me, being even stronger, basically, being even stronger pound for pound will drive up the muscle tissue a little bit more. And so with a little bit more muscle tissue, I think it'll rev things and carve me in deeper. So let's finish it out. Brick check. That means we keep each other accountable every podcast.
Shit. I didn't sleep last night.
Oh, there we go.
There we go, Ben.
So we keep each other accountable.
Yeah, I think that's another couple extra credit, man. A couple extra credit. I know being like, let's get out of here. But listen,
trying to keep it under half an hour for you.
2 more real quick, man, is I feel like having a vision for yourself and how you want your body to be is
cool.
key. So having a vision,
really cool.
you got to start with a vision in your mind. Because without a vision, man, your subconscious don't know where to take you. So in the second one, man, like we just said, we just did a habit check, habit check, was surrounding yourself with people that push you, motivate you, and inspire you. So
I like that.
Surround yourself with like minds and people that are gonna pull you up. You know. So those are my little extra credit tidbits.
Have a vision of your ideal for yourself, and surround yourself with people who uplift you. Boom! I got it. That's my vision right here. And I got 9 and 10. I'm just looking at Derek. I got 9 and 10.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for listening. A ton of these basics are in our book together, ATG for Life. So many of the basics actually from this list. This book, it's only twice a week, so it could really help you get momentum. Anyone could get following that. So
true, man.
Hope it helps. Hope this podcast helps. Much love. Have a good week.
Stay shredded.